Hello, Video Gamer Community Club members. Can you believe 4 weeks have passed? And we're going to do another Q&A podcast. You have sent us a load of questions, and we're going to run down them. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Stephen Burns.
Hello.
And Mr. Jim Trinker.
Right.
As always, we have not vetted these questions, so we may read some out and then go, nope. And move on. But we start with James Marshall, who says, have any of you chaps ever done the old digital tourism? For example, either visiting a real-world location after you've seen it in a game or the other way
Jim.
around.
This is you and it.
I don't think I've ever done this.
Welcome to travel segment. I've done it the other way around accidentally.
Just turned up somewhere.
Because when I got married, our honeymoon was in Rome, and we stayed in Tivoli. So it was in Tivoli, really, but we did Rome and everything. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is set in Rome. It has that DLC in Tivoli. So yeah.
What about GTA 5, you dick?
I guess I've done it in GTA by
5,
accident.
Yeah.
When we were driving around LA at last year's E3, or the year before, we looked out for GTA landmarks. It makes no sense because they're LA landmarks, but we did that.
But yeah, it's impressive how they've captured that city.
I've never done it though. Burns, you done it anywhere?
Not really, no. I went to New York after I played GTA 4.
Yeah, I did that, and it makes GTA 4 a bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, they really have done a good job, as they always do.
Of course, there is Paris and Unity as well.
Yeah, just all Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
Or The Saboteur. No one remembers The Saboteur. Per Morton, can't pronounce your last name, I'm sorry. I'll do my best though. Merjol Karan says, would you rather fight 100 Scamel-sized Millers or 1 Miller-sized Scamel?
1 Miller-sized Scamel, because even if he is as big as you, he's not going to have the hand-eye coordination, is he? So.
Okay, well, there you go.
Just sheer mass, isn't it? Like,
Luke Kammer says, could you see a new rival to the current console manufacturers in the same vein as when Microsoft and Sony first entered the gaming console market? No. If so, then who and why?
Me. The Burns Magnavox.
But Apple did it basically, didn't they? I mean, they did the smart thing of they released what was essentially a gaming device, but didn't compete with anything because nobody else was doing it. So you got to market
it's not a gaming platform, and then realised that they were using it every single day.
But EA makes more money from The Sims, whatever it's called, The Simpsons, whatever it's called, than nearly any of its other games.
What the fuck is that called?
Tapped Out? Yeah, that. I mean, it's probably not now, but I remember someone told me. And I'm going to say it, and you're going to think I'm exaggerating, but it genuinely was this number. It makes something like $10 million a day or something, maybe even more.
That's the sort of volume that you look for in a game, though, when you make a game like that. Those sums sound outrageous, but when you sit down and review some of the big hitters and financial statements, you're like, excuse me.
But I mean, outside of that, I don't know who's big enough to enter the console market. Who's got enough money?
I think it's, why would you do it now?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing as well. It's kind of, I imagine... I don't think we're going to get 15 years down the line and have a Nintendo Sega scenario. I imagine Microsoft and Sony will still be going unless one of them chooses to stop. I don't think
that Microsoft want to spin off the Xbox brand.
Well, but they do that from a financial... Not because they've lost money, because they've got like 85 billion in the bank or whatever. It'd just be because, well, it's not really serving what we want to do anymore.
With our
I don't think those three companies will never Sega it. They're too big, too well established, I would say.
I just can't see anyone at the moment making a play into the traditional box under the telly space. Not why.
No, the Steam machine would be interesting. That may spawn rip-off things. Not rip-off things, but people thinking, well, that's popular, maybe I can compete with it. Maybe. Who knows? Kazir Jamil says, what kind of changes do the team think need to be implemented in FIFA 16 to make it the ultimate football game? He does say, I did hear some of Brett's views on this during the GTA live stream, but he was cut off by bloody Scamel. Well, Brett or Scamel's not here, but Burns, you're probably the man to... Jim, do you actually have real things you want to see in FIFA?
No.
All right. I don't know. You may have been like a FIFA fan years ago and then you gave up for whatever reason. You're a PES man, Burns, right?
I am. You are. I just completed my 102nd hour in a PES PC, the worst of all versions, amazingly. But
what does FIFA 16 need? Because the problem is that they made it really good and then ran out of ideas.
Yeah, when I go to my friend's house, he doesn't have PES and he hates PES, so we play a lot of FIFA. And I actually don't. I like playing FIFA. In that environment, you just play a few games before you go out or before you do whatever. But it just, after a while, all of the play seems too familiar.
Yeah, you find out where to beat
similar
the game,
goals, and that's been FIFA's problem for a little while now. And there's so much emphasis on it being like Sky that it puts me off. Like, you got Martin Tyler, and now in FIFA 15 during the half time it says, and coming up on blah blah. don't give like PES needs more of that, but FIFA actually needs less of it. It needs better commentary as well. I can't believe you're saying that. And it's a bit floaty at the moment, and the character models are dreadful. How they've not got their caricatures, they're much like in FIFA Street. So more diverse goals mainly, and dial down the fucking Sky Sports stuff, lads.
Yeah, I agree. I imagine the amount of money they make, they probably do it, but I completely agree.
Yeah, of course.
Peter says, are there any videos that you got far into filming but had to abandon for whatever reason? We abandoned any videos?
Not that I can think of.
No.
I mean, there's been stuff that we've uploaded and then realised was a terrible idea.
Actually, everything we do. No, I'm joking.
Well, no, we tend to have we'll have an idea, we'll go with it, we'll run it through to the end, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I can't think of anything we've actually abandoned halfway through.
Not because we thought it was a bad idea. I mean, there was one video we stopped doing because I think this is ages ago, maybe before you were here, Jim, but we decided it would actually offend people. So we abandoned that one. But I don't think there's a video we looked at and gone, you know what, this isn't.
But I think they changed, don't they? It gets to the point where there's no shooting script generally. You've not got a Foley man standing there. You don't have, if it's not going where you want, you just have a sit down.
Well, I remember the one that springs to mind is when we threw Connect out the window. I remember we did that, and then we watched the first edit, and it didn't work as well as we'd hoped. And then I think it was the man who shall not be named put Aerosmith over the top of it, and then all of a sudden it was like, actually makes it work.
There's so many moments like that change something that you may even scrap.
I mean, it is all in the edit. Although there are a couple. Actually, thinking about it. There is 2 idiots video which was filmed, and it was just a complete mess. Actually,
on that sense, looking at it that way, I mean, before the editing process, I mean, me and Dave did a 2 Cowards literally last Thursday on The Forest, and we went, you know what? No, this is just awful. It's not the type of game that works for that kind of stuff. So I guess it's stuff like that, but I don't think from a point we've edited it, sat down and gone, no way. I think once we've edited it, it goes up.
It's we've never finished anything and not put it up. It's all that fucking work.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the best name I think I've ever heard. Thomas Quillfelt says, what games from the last 5 years do you think will enter the pantheon of classic games, e.g. Pac-Man, Tetris, Super Mario World, Ocarina? My personal shouts would be Dark Souls and The Last of Us. The problem with the Dark Souls, I mean, I think The Last of Us is fantastic, but it's not. Tetris will still be playable, even Pac-Man will still be playable in 50 years. You can go back to and understand The Last of Us will feel dated and aged by then, simply because of the technology that it uses. I don't know, it's a very good question.
I'm not sure any of those will go into the... Dark Souls will be closest, but for me anyway. But
they made something like Rogue Legacy would last longer, simply because its art style isn't going to age, because it's got that kind of, retro-fitted stuff. The problem is always going to be with Dark Souls is the idea is solid, but they're probably Dark Souls 50 or whatever. You think, well, I'll play that one simply because if I go technically, it's probably unplayable in that amount. I think that's the problem you have now, whereas, games 25 years ago had to rely mostly on gameplay because you're going to do so much of visuals, and now because there's so much technology available to people, they kind of, not skimp, but they do a bit of both. I can't think of anything that would... Minecraft, maybe?
Minecraft's probably there.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think it's fair. I think the world is too big to make to generate properly timeless classics that are ubiquitous as well in their adoration. Because, there'll be stuff like The Last of Us, even stuff like, Uncharted or whatever, that's going to have its fans, definitely. And there's going to be a lot of them. But, there's 7 million people alive now. 7 billion people alive
7
now.
million people rocking planet Earth.
It's just London.
Call of Duty outsells the world.
Sorry, I mean, there's 7 billion people on planet Earth now. And there's so much scope for, entire countries where they've never heard of The Last of Us. You know what I mean? So I don't think anything's going to be as huge as that. I think it'll be rarity going forward.
You always get that thing of, you come first, you have a bigger impact on things. And Tetris came incredibly early in what were video games. So,
I mean, what were the biggest films of the last 10 years have been? Well, the last 5-10 years have been the Avengers films, basically.
Yeah,
haven't they? And that's
box office, or
just in terms of just sheer cultural impact, it's been. I would say
Dark Knight trilogy, Jim. I think you're missing out. I think I mentioned that.
But, basically stuff that is a new version of something that's been around for absolutely fucking decades. So I think,
Tetris 2. That would be the game you want. Right, we get weird now. Flo says, Miller didn't get his oats today and he's pissed. Which video game character do you task with returning him to his senses, not necessarily through violence? I mean...
I don't understand.
Triple H.
I mean, he's a video game character, technically.
Exactly.
Well, you get
true.
the doctor from MGS5 to swap your head with Scammell.
There you go.
That'll
Yeah,
calm you
no.
down.
Yeah, right, done. Easy.
you go.
Mike Smith, on a personal note, how are you guys finding the new workload and YouTube schedule? There's a lot to do every day. And some days you kind of think, holy shit, there's a lot to do. But it seems to be working. And that's the main thing. If something's working, it doesn't matter. You know, it's perfectly fine. And I think everyone's the same. I think it's the same with the website and everything else we do. If you're getting stuff out of it and it's being successful, then who cares? Keep putting it in.
We don't mind doing it either. We love doing it.
It's not exactly the hardest thing in the world. It's not like we're down a mine. Ryan Gilbert says, what do you think of Peter Molyneux and 22 Cans? Do you think there is a future for the company after the whole Goddess disaster and the departure of one of the lead game designers? Silent Peter Molyneux. The thing with Peter Molyneux is he is now a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
Because all this stuff that started even probably before Fable, but I mean that's the big first time I remember as a video game fan going, there's a lot of nonsense being spat. I mean, Fable I really liked it, but it was nowhere near the game that had been portrayed. And here we are. Fable came out early 2000s, so they say 15 years later, and nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. It's still, he's got great vision and great, foresight of what he wants, but then when you actually sit down and look at how much money do I have and what resources do I have at my disposal, he can't pull it off because most of his ideas are too ambitious. There's nothing wrong with that, but it'd just be nice if once he just said, you know what, I'm sorry. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But that never happens because no one does that in video games.
I've got a funny feeling that history will see the final irony of Peter Molyneux as someone whose career ended really quietly.
Yeah, I actually think you're right.
I think he's just going to sort of quietly retire, and 10 years after, people will be like, "What the fuck happened to Peter Molyneux?"
And then he'll be back as Robo Molyneux.
RoboCop 4.
Fuck off, RoboCop.
Frog W says, what has been the best original / non-sequel game to come out in the last 5 years and why is it Dishonored? Seriously though, which is your favourite and are there any coming that you're looking forward to? P.S. Jim, Bodger and Badger is a modern day classic akin to Dickens or Shakespeare. Do you like Bodger and Badger?
I tweet about it all the time.
Oh, do you?
I tweet about it all the time because I'm
that.
convinced that Badger is like a hallucinatory manifestation of Bodger's aneurysm.
It could be true. That loves mashed potato.
I think there's a lot more to that show than people ever gave it credit for.
Okay, so best original non-sequel game to come out in the last 5 years.
Dishonored was good. Really
Last of Us counts, surely. There's a shout in there.
Last of
It's
Us,
original. Yeah. I haven't played Dishonored properly because I was going to wait for it to come out on PS Plus, and then it only came out on PS3. Obviously,
It's good. It's really good.
Yeah, I do want to play it, but I think it's a good shout. Last of Us.
What? I don't understand.
Which
that.
bit?
But you were waiting for it to come out on PS Plus, but then it was only on PS3.
Well, I forgot. I mean, I just assume anything that comes out on PS Plus is going to be compatible with your PS4.
Right.
But obviously it's not. So I loaded up my PS4 because I sold my PS3 to buy my PS4. So obviously I was like, oh yeah. I can't think of original games that have come out in the last 5 years. It's bad that none spring to mind straight away, apart from two games. Beyond Two Souls. Lol. Okay, we'll move on. That we don't know. Ryan Gilbert says. So second question from Ryan Gilbert: would you rather have the head? What is this with heads? Would you rather have a head the size of a rugby ball, or a head the size of a tennis ball? How big is always better? So rugby ball.
Isn't a rugby ball about the size of a human head, though?
Probably.
Weird shape though.
Basically, do you want a big head or a small head? Burns.
I'd take the rugby ball head. Otherwise, you look like the guys from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's my first thought. It's the Beetlejuice guy. Jim, big head or small head?
I'd take a big head.
All right, done. We're all big heads. Mike Lawson, with primarily single-player games like Mass Effect and SimCity incorporating more and more forced multiplayer elements, I was wondering, would you rather only have single-player games or multiplayer games? So basically Skyrim or Elder Scrolls Online, Mass Effect 2 or Destiny, SimCity or Cities Skylines?
I think you can make the argument that Mass Effect 3's multiplayer was kind of shoehorned in. But
yeah, I think so,
with something like SimCity, that feels like a natural kind of evolution
for the series.
Yeah, I don't think that doesn't seem so forced to me. But I mean, it depends what it is. I mean, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think because my problem is I don't like what Ubisoft are doing, where this whole what's the phrase they use? The something world. persistent world, this persistent online world. That is with all their games now. Is we have to get a persistent online world in there. Or at least that's what they're aiming to. And I don't like that because I think it makes much more sense to come up with your concept and then decide, right, does it work online? Hence why I like games like Elder Scrolls V, for example, because you know it's a single player experience. You know what you're getting into. They're not shoehorning MMO elements in there. I mean, I don't think Elder Scrolls Online should have ever been a thing, but if they are going to do it, I'm glad they made it its own property. But yeah, I don't like it when there's this one rule en masse because a game like Dark Souls, for example, you know, the online elements in that are brilliant. And I think if they decided we shouldn't put them in, then it probably would have taken away from the game. Whereas when you actually understand what they are, I remember when I first heard about them in Demon Souls, I thought, that's really clever. That's a really, really clever,
I love the notes.
idea.
The notes are great.
Because they can work both ways. You can basically be a face or a heel. You know, you can choose. I think it's great. I think it's really clever.
Yeah. So yeah, like you say, it's interpretation and how you actually put it in the game. You know, there's no point in going, this is just a single player game because multiplayer is bad. You got to, you know, if in Skyrim, you know, someone could, I don't know, do something as a bit like Dark Souls or something, leave you a little note or like, you know, not just jump in, but
see that working,
a quest, you know, item or stuff.
I mean, as much as I would dead against multiplayer Elder Scrolls forever because it's just not that kind of game.
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't even fit. Like, you know, the whole point of Elder Scrolls is that you individually are the hero around which the entire world revolves. Doesn't translate to an MMO. But
especially not in 2014. What are they thinking?
And a dog gives you your first quest.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, man, it's
the
great.
infamous
Really?
Steve Burns.
I couldn't believe what
Elder Scrolls Online preview.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
what is it?
A dog came up and he goes,
Dogs?
"What, boy?" I'm like, "What do you mean there's a man in the lake?" How do you know that?
Just, I don't.
Magic, mate. He's probably a Daedra. Anyway.
Daedra dog.
Why didn't he just say that then?
Yeah, just give it a voice. Just give it a voice. Jim Huxter asked, which system had the best controller ever? Keyboard and mouse are allowed. Xbox 360 pad was always my favourite.
My favourite, yeah.
Followed by SNES. I love the SNES
No,
pads.
go back and play it, Miller. Look, the size
Really?
of your hands, how did you ever hold it?
Well, in my head, they're the two that stick out. But I think the Xbox 360 pad especially. I'll tell you what I do know. I appreciate the PS4 pad now after playing the PS3 the other day. The DualShock 3 is garbage.
It is.
Absolute
Tiny
garbage.
as well.
And it doesn't weigh anything because we didn't have the fucking vibrator in the one we were using. The vibrator. Absolute bollocks. Jim, best controller.
I'd go for 360 as well.
Yeah.
I was veering towards DualShock 4. You know,
It's good.
When the PS4 launched, I thought this is fucking brilliant. It solves everything, every bad thing about the DualShock. To an extent, and I thought, oh fuck, okay, this is my new favorite controller. This is better than the 360 because it's got the good D-pad and everything as well. The touchpad's really useful and whatever. But the build quality on them is fucking atrocious.
Yeah, they fall apart, don't they?
The 360 controllers, you can fucking whack them with hammers and they'll still work.
Oh, I've thrown so many due to Pez. And all that happens is where the prongs, you know, you had the white or the kind of cream bit at the top of the face, and you had like a silver bit that went like underneath it. All that would happen is that would just push out like a fail safe, and you go, oh, okay, push it back in. Like, right, I'm fucking back.
Yeah,
there you go.
Those controllers were like, you know, within reason. You know, they would take a lot of punishment.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
The DualShock through normal use that can get fucked.
Wank.
There you go. Xbox 360 all round. Mike Lawson returns and he says, Miller, what supplements do you use? I mean, I'll run them off quickly. Whey protein, glutamine, creatine. I got an amino acid. I take an intra-workout. Multivitamin, fucking hell, omega-3s. Omega-3s. All the basic, you know, all the stuff you'd expect.
That's the police.
I don't think I take anything out there. I'm trying to think. I think that's basically it. I take a vitamin C. Yeah, all the stuff you'd expect.
When Miller was here before in his first stint in WWE, we used to go to the gym together, and I'd occasionally have a little go on the pre-workout or the grenade flapjacks, as they're called. And yeah, that's some serious stuff.
Yeah, I don't take pre-workout much anymore because for anyone that doesn't know, pre-workout basically gives you an adrenaline rush.
Oh, it's great.
So much like you would do if you took any drug, you get a crash from it as well.
Yeah.
So if you're not aware of this, you'll get home in the evening when it wears off and you'll feel really depressed. So I decided it's not worth it. And you can't sleep either because obviously...
I'm blaming you, Miller, for all my problems.
If I was you, I'd have trolled that question and just listed off like all the Sunday Times supplements that you use.
The Sunday Times, mate.
Should have done it.
Weekend on Sunday.
Karen Kapoor says, if you were to develop a console, what features would you add? That is a question and a
A
half.
controller that's not a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, that's
That's it.
one. I mean, I take away voice stuff because I hate all of that.
Yeah.
Motion control, I don't care about.
I
don't. You know what? I don't massively use all the extra stuff on a console.
It would have voice activation stuff like Connect, but it'd be built in, and it would only ever respond to you saying "you fucking C word," and then and a combination of other words like Wi-Fi or download or something, and it would immediately take you to someone who would walk you through your problem.
That's what I want.
There you go.
Done. Kifster, this is a big one, so I do what I can. If you could travel back in time and change one video game related event, what would you change and for what desired effect? Personally, I'd stop Microsoft from buying Rare in the hope of more Banjo-Kazooie and Conquer. P.S. This is without feeling guilty that you have used your one chance to travel back in time on something so trivial. The Rare one would be high on my list. Let's face it, Microsoft bought them and ruined that studio.
Yeah, that's incredible.
What would I stop from happening? Assassin's Creed? Sorry, Jim.
I'd go back and stop Nintendo from happening.
Just kill them off.
Just
keep making cards.
Yeah.
Don't change.
I don't know.
That's a hard question.
Maybe the global financial crisis. So a knock-on effect would be that the current consoles wouldn't be spec'd so fucking poorly.
That's true. That's good. That's a smart answer.
But, yeah.
I haven't got a smart answer.
No, Nintendo.
I don't know. I think the Rare one's pretty good. I don't think there's anything that's happened in the past where I've gone, that has ruined video games. Really?
No.
Because it's video games.
I'd go back and make sure that Pez got the FIFA license.
That's quite good. Yeah. No. Oh, there you go. I'd go back and make sure that Aki didn't stop making wrestling games.
There we go.
There you go.
There we
That's what I'd
go.
do. Morgan Williams, with the internet getting frazzled because there are no space battles in Battlefront, are gamers the most self-entitled, nostalgic craving people on the planet? Keep up the great work, guys.
Star Wars fans, but there is a
Star Wars
significant
and gaming
overlap.
fans together.
Significant overlap.
I think it's just the internet.
Did you see it yesterday in the Battlefront stuff on Reddit? I had to tweet about it. I was in the bath. And
I probably saw it, was it?
With the is it? How do you say? Do you say AT-AT or AT?
I think it's 80, whatever, yeah.
People say AT-AT, don't
The
they?
fucking the big walking snow dog.
Oh, is this
thing.
that they're on rails?
They're on rails.
Big walking snow dog.
Why
thing.
did people get so mad about that? Because the way I look at it, if they weren't on rails, just get in that and win.
Well,
surely that would be the win game.
And they don't go very fast, and
Yeah.
they don't in the movie. They're shit.
And when they say on rails, you mean you get in them and you can only go back and.
Well, I presume you can only move around a certain.
But that's fine.
But these people were like, someone said something like, "Oh, and you think that this is quality over quantity, LMFAO?" It's like, shut the fuck up! Like, you come here and make this game, then, Dick Splash.
That's my dream. My dream is for one developer to go, right, we're all leaving. We found these 100 people online. You make the game. They just sit in a room for 6 months like, fuck, what are we going to do?
Warren Beatty did that. The film star Warren
Did
Beatty
he?
to a very famous film critic. She kept on slagging him off. And he said, "All right, I've got your production deal. Come to Hollywood and make some fucking films." Bought it.
Amazing. Amazing.
Exactly.
It's like when you made Bolton, I'll fight you. Legend.
And then he did.
And he
He's
did.
really good.
Yeah, kick the shit out of someone. Hero. Cliff Johnson, you're on death row. I quite like this question. It's quite silly, but I like the idea. You're on death row. Instead of a last meal, you get one final gaming session. What do you choose and why?
Is that Death Row the record label?
You're producing Death Row Records. Final gaming session. It gets me by myself. So there's no point playing No Mercy or WrestleMania 2000 because you need someone else to make that work. I'd probably play a Zelda game, to be honest.
If I was on my deathbed, I wouldn't give a... The last thing I'd give a fuck about was video games.
I'd be pissed if I wasn't getting a meal. Be like, I want my food. That's the best thing before you get killed.
Yeah.
So here's everything you want to eat.
Play Resident Evil HD remake.
Yeah, I'd play Ocarina of Time probably.
And I'd do that in under 2 hours. And I'd be like, "Have I got time for any more games?" Well, yeah, shit.
Got some food.
I'd put Morrowind.
Jim, Max, I don't have an answer. Neither is my answer to this question. Max Leclerc says, "Who would you rather do a collaboration project with, Rooster Teeth or PewDiePie?" I don't even know. I never really watched Rooster Teeth stuff. I know
I've never heard of Rooster Teeth.
No, neither.
PewDiePie seems like an alright guy.
You know, I got nothing against PewDiePie. A lot of people shit on him, but how can you get mad? said, he was there first, took off. He's been successful. I got no problem with him whatsoever.
Yeah, me neither.
Thing is, I find his videos irritating as fuck.
Oh, I hate his
But I
videos.
don't watch them.
No, these videos aren't for me.
Every time we've said this loads of times before. Every time he's popped up being interviewed or whatever, he's come across as a really fucking smart, level-headed,
And humble
bloke.
as well. He
Yeah,
seems very
I
grateful
quite
for his
like him.
success.
So-
Yeah. But I hate his videos.
He
though.
flies premium economy though. It fucks me off.
Basically, Steve Burns without the ego. Like,
Hey man, fuck you. How dare you?
Rob Scotcher, apart from McDonald's, what is the best food in London? I'm personally thinking either Bodine's or Honest Burgers. Five Guys.
Bodine's is great.
You into Five Guys? Fuck my life.
been to
that's
Five
good.
Guys. Of
Fucking
course I have.
amazing.
oh, Five Guys is incredible.
Just ridiculous.
The amount, those burgers, they're relatively small, but they fit so much into
Oh,
them.
it's so good. And I
It's so
patted mine
dense.
up to the fucking nines as well. And you got
Yeah.
that weird soft drink machine that's got soft drinks and you've never heard of.
Raspberry,
Yeah, like Fanta
raspberry
and
Pepsi
stuff.
Max
Yeah.
and shit. It's fucking amazing.
That's,
Yeah.
I'm a traditionalist, man.
But I wouldn't say, I don't know, best food in London. It's impossible questions to answer. London has all the best food.
I went to a South African restaurant with my girlfriend the other day. It was amazing.
Really?
I can't remember what it's called now, but it's incredible. Definitely go. They had ostrich steak. Fucking amazing.
Fuck me.
Ermagerd says, what game would Video Gamer make if it was a large games publisher like Ubisoft or EA? And
fucking
what
Killer
howling
Mayor.
bugs would you need to fix in the day one patch?
All of them.
Yeah, because it'd be fucking messy as shit. We'd leave them in. Troll games. If I was in, if I was genuinely sort of somehow Video Gamer did become that, I would want to make something, you know, big adventure nonsense crap open world thing, because you can get the most sort of references in. Then if you make something like Assassin's Creed or GTA or something like that, you can just
Just make a choose your own adventure game.
yeah.
But with the graphics.
It'd have to be a Twine game, though, wouldn't it? Because we're all fucking useless.
Oh yeah.
No,
I
because
don't know who the hell we didn't
we
develop.
pay someone to do it. Oh, I can't think about it. We're like the project. Do you think the
killing
guys
me
at
here.
the top of Ubisoft make the game themselves? They don't. They've got like an army. They go on.
Yeah,
fucking,
I mean, I would have told this on a regular podcast anyway, but as we're here, when Burns and I, did you join Imagine when the Assassin's Creed fiasco happened?
I joined in on October 16th, 2009.
That's after Assassin's Creed, the
Just
first one, isn't it?
after. Well, no, 2 years after.
2 years after. Just after.
Just before the second
Well,
one.
Assassin's
should I say.
Creed, like I gave Assassin's Creed a 5 out of 10. Someone else on Play Magazine gave it 66 or whatever, maybe less. And then Games TM, which had 3 magazines and the publication, gave it 4. We hadn't chatted about it because the game was so big. We literally locked ourselves in rooms and finished it, and we all just happened to come to the same conclusion. I had no idea what they're giving them. Ubisoft kicked off. Told the story before. Some guy gave me a call, called me a C word. Still won't talk to that guy. Still in the industry. Will not talk to him. Accused us of this big, like, if we give Assassin's Creed a kicking, we'll get sales and stuff, which is just nonsense. But the owner of a management publishing or someone very high up went to Ubisoft to say, look, this is ridiculous. We gave it what we thought. Just leave it. He was in a room with very, very high-ranking executives. Not one of them played Assassin's Creed. So how would they even know?
Amazing.
How would they even know? There you go. A little treat for the patrons. Karen Kapoor returns and says, what do you expect from this year's E3? I have an accumulated bet for £50 that this is the last possible year for The Last Guardian to be reintroduced. The Last Guardian will come back, but it will not be called The Last Guardian. It will be called something completely different, and they won't even mention that it's... Well, they may
Called the
mention
first
that-
Guardian, won't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Be a prequel.
Gears of War, you'll definitely get E3. A lot of Uncharted stuff, but I guess that's probably...
I'm looking more forward to the Bethesda conference than anything
I think
else.
Fallout 4 must be a lock now, right? After all this nonsense that came
Yeah,
out
it's gotta be.
yesterday.
Why would they have their own conference if they didn't have something fucking massive to
But
announce?
this is the thing, if they don't announce Fallout 4, they're just going to piss people off now. I mean, I still think, I know they announced the DLC, I've said I do think there'll be new Wolfenstein on top of this. I really do. I think that's why they're doing it in between, so they can go, right, that's the new order done, here's your proper sequel. I think you got Fallout, and I think Doom will make an appearance as well.
Like, imagine they did. This is the first time they've ever done an E3 conference, right? I mean,
Yeah,
imagine,
so they're seeing themselves like EA, Ubisoft, that kind of thing.
imagine what they did that and marked the occasion by announcing Rogue Warrior 2.
Burns
Right.
and pop.
Oh
It's
my
obviously
life.
for-
I would
Guys
just
love it.
shout, yeah!
The thing is, because they're doing their own thing, you have to get Doom, you have to get Wolfenstein, you have to get Fallout. I wouldn't even be surprised if they said something about the Elder Scrolls, because that's what you do when you have your conference. You get all your big guns and you throw them out there.
If you think about it, I mean, what? I mean, they're quite a big stable relatively, but they're not like EA. They haven't got.
That's what they're trying to get to.
They haven't got a billion projects that they can just rattle off for an hour. So,
I think EA will talk about Mass Effect as well. I think you'll get Mass Effect.
I hope so. Hope so.
The sad thing about E3 this year is that as it's going to be Dave and I going, we won't be at the Microsoft conference men are just laughing hysterically.
You're going there, right?
To the conferences. I'm not sure.
Okay. We'll find a way. We'll find a way.
TBA.
We'll Skype each other. Peter McAllister. Well, yeah. Have you ever found it hard to keep embargoed information under wraps? Or do you enjoy having access to information before it's made public? I don't enjoy it. Just sometimes that's the legality of the situation. But I think if you listen or watch most of what we do, you can usually figure out what we're going to do with a game before we do it. You just got to be turned on and a bit smart.
Yeah. It is, once you sign an agreement, you generally sign an agreement, and there's everyone's unfortunately old enough to be like, okay, respect the. Yeah. It's just when those lines get blurred where other people get information before you, and that's not part of the deal or whatever. That's when you can feel, oh, okay, well, what's the point? But that's when you got to stomp about.
In the whole time I've been in this job, I've only ever signed one NDA.
Really?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's good for you.
I could have laid waste.
Well, yeah.
Imagine when any of their staff sign, any of their staff below editor-in-chief level, I think, sign anything at any event.
No, that's true.
So you'd go there and you'd have to, every time, like, can you just sign here? Nope.
And they were like, okay, we'll sort it out later. I never forget the Bethesda NDA for Fallout 3 that said, if you break the embargo on this, we will extinguish you. Which I refused to sign because I didn't want to get sniped through a window by Bethesda. Morgan Williams returns and says, are you not a little disappointed that there isn't a World War II shooter coming out? Yes, I think it's time for the fact they moved Black Ops forward pissed me off. I think it's time now just to go back to World War II.
I could very much do with a World War II shooter. What I want is a World War II shooter that's set towards the end of the Second World War.
Yeah.
Where you are special forces, and then it's over the next 20 years of how all that builds out. You get an SAS.
That'd be fantastic.
Get a lead into the Cold War and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought Black Ops 3 was going to be.
The fact they moved it to a futuristic dark future. Fuck off.
I'm not going to play it.
No, I'm not. I refuse. You should have just said it fucking, even if it was the 80s. That would have been better than moving it here. Anyway.
Could have done, Iranian embassy siege and all that sort of shit.
World War II's... the time has come.
So many good stories of World War II. The only problem, much like everything else, was it got oversaturated. We have a nice break now. This is what annoys me. Guitar Hero and Rock Band are apparently fine to come back, which they're not. No one needs that. You can play the old ones. But World War II games that would benefit from being all nice and shiny on your machine aren't. Hate it. Connor Burton, what is everyone's backgrounds? All right. And who haven't we met yet who works at Video Gamer? Some of us only just met Cole on the live stream recently. Well, in terms of off-camera people, it's just Cole and Adam. Cole, design stuff. Adam's like businessman. Yeah. What's our backgrounds? I don't really know what that means. I'm a man from Luton.
From Luton.
And I got stabbed once.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I got. Backgrounds? You want to give their backgrounds? I don't really know what to say to that one. No, we'll move on.
I can give you a biography. It's not going to be very interesting, is it?
Born in 1984.
I'm not sure how I feel about this question. I think you're being nice, Ross Kennedy. But it's the fact you threw honestly in there. Do you guys honestly... Oh, no, I've read it wrong. Right, I'll start again. Sorry. I tell you, I'll read it how it is, then I'll tell you what I thought. Do you guys honestly see virtual reality taking off, perhaps being revolutionary? Or will it go the way of 3D TVs? Nice and all, but ultimately too expensive, too focused on individual eyewear and just a gimmick. I read that as VG. So I thought you were saying, do you guys honestly see video gamer taking off? That's a bit of a shock. I don't think virtual reality will be any bigger than it is now. Even when it actually comes out and people can go and buy it, I don't see... Yeah, I think it'd be like 3D TVs. I think it'd be exactly the same. It's a nice gimmick for those that can afford it, but otherwise, do you need it really? Are you playing these video games thinking, you know what, I need this to have a, extra
I think we're a couple of generations away at least, because the world that you get into has to be, compelling enough. And we play, what was it, Valkyrie at E3, and that was really cool.
Yeah, what I played was amazing as well. Yeah,
but apparently GTA 5. On Oculus Rift PC, it's been hacked in, is really good. Really good.
See, I didn't think of it like that. If a
First person mode in that game as well.
If a game like GTA comes out and it is amazing, then yes, that could probably catapult it to the level you.
But it's the tech, is to never get over that. If it was
contact lens or something, yeah.
All that shit's surely coming down the pike. Like, you've got your phone essentially works as a HUD, right? So when you got maps shit, and then they've migrated it to the watch so you can look at it, and then in like 20 years time or whatever, sci-fi shit, but little contact lens, it already exists, just with a readout. Amazing, You're like, right, I've got to go here, map. You just press on your phone or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Up comes
That
the
would be
data.
good, yeah.
That's what Google Glass, but now not ridiculous.
I was going to say,
Not pretentious.
I think HoloLens might be the beginnings of something where some way that AR or VR might actually take off and become something useful. But in terms of virtual reality, Eve Valkyrie, that demo was incredible. That's the only thing I've tried an Oculus Rift on. It was incredible, but I couldn't see me doing it in my house.
I could do GTA. Imagine you running down the airstrip, getting in a fucking fighter jet.
But you mean with a controller?
But you just feel like you were in LA and get depressed.
Yeah.
But I think it is a depressing city. But I think I've always been a bit. I don't think until they get it into one unit. So at the moment, the Oculus Rift is basically a display device that you strap to your head, and you need to have it plugged into like really expensive computer hardware to drive it properly. And it's a hobbyist thing. Like half of the stuff people play in Oculus Rift isn't even designed for it. So it's like you say with GTA 5, it's patched in by the community or whatever. Until it stops existing as a hobbyist thing for people who shop in Maplin on a daily basis,
Those people.
it's not going to be. It's not going to take off. Which is why I was a bit surprised about people got angry when Facebook bought Oculus Rift, because like if anybody's going to make it mainstream, it's people like that.
Yeah, they're not going to buy it and then ruin it.
Yeah.
I think it's the stuff that you don't.
But I think
you see the Zuckerberg interview where he's talking about Oculus. He talks about it's not just games. It's sporting events.
Yeah.
It's like being places. It's putting one on and talking with your friends and family and all that. So that sort of tech's coming down. But
but he's
not
right
yet.
though. He's absolutely right.
He's not often wrong.
The best bit as well, he can buy it. It failed. Pfft,
Oh well.
what's next? Never mind.
But it's an interesting thing.
You should keep an eye out for it, right? Stingray.
All right. We'll do this one quick, actually, because he makes a good point. Ross Kennedy's secret cheeky question is, do any of you read novels or such? If so, what are you reading now? Favourite book? Not enough bookies about. I'm not really the man to answer. I'm currently reading William Regal's autobiography. So that's
fine, though.
miserably.
That's fine. I don't get this, like... I read a lot of fucking shit that people were like, excuse me? But at the same time, I love wrestling books as much as I do like fucking Golden Bow or whatever.
I've historically not even been like hugely interested. I've always enjoyed it, but I never had Sky or anything when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But genuinely, one of the first books I ever actually finished was The Rock's autobiography.
That is the best book because it's all lies and written in character. Amazing.
It is brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
New York #1 bestseller.
But yeah, I like the Discworld books.
At the moment, I'm reading Flash Boys by Michael Lewis.
A real
and
book.
a couple of other things.
Oh, Crown and Country by David Stark is quite good, even though he's a cunt. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, so I'm not allowed to
There
say
you
that.
go.
You can say it on here. That's
Fuck
fine.
me.
Right, Richard Johnson's got a load of questions. We'll do these quick fire. How do you plan to grow the channel over the next 3 months? Just keep releasing good content. You may have noticed we've got a schedule up there now.
Is this a shareholder meeting?
Yeah, exactly. You may have noticed we've got a schedule up here now. That doesn't mean you're going to get less videos. It just means you get specific videos on certain days, but you also get all the other surprises, reviews, all that kind of stuff. Do you feel you struck the right balance between the videos that educate and inform viewers about games and the comical nonsense videos? I always want to do the latter. I think
it should be 100% piss takes personally.
Yeah, I think one thing we do, you got to have a USP and you've got to have a gimmick, classic. And I think you can go a lot of places to find info. And we'll still give you information about games. We'll still do those videos, especially when we do reviews and stuff. But, I think you've got to make sure you stand out. And I think that's the stuff that stands out.
The points are still salient, though. That's the most important thing. When we talk about, when you do a Miller Report segment or... the point is still serious. And the wrestling one about people can't talk about frame rates. They can't because that's how it ends up, but just on the internet. So I think...
it's just a different way of getting our points across.
And rather than going, well, I actually find the discourse regarding...
You're right. It's just a way of doing that, but in a funny way, because it's video games. Is there a concern that all the in-jokes may be a barrier to new viewers? Definitely not, because I like to think... Well, look at Seinfeld, which in my opinion is the greatest sitcom ever. You would get, into season 7, and they'd be making jokes they made in season 2 and never explained. So if you missed it, that's your fault. But it gave you the impetus to go back and check it out. So hopefully, not comparing us to Seinfeld, but hopefully we'll be able to.
I was going to say, if we can be the Seinfeld of video games journalism, that's fine by me.
But I would like to think that, the in-joke makes someone, a loyal viewer, feel like they're part of a special club, and new viewers who have laughed at jokes that aren't in-joke, I think I better stay with this now so I can catch up. And he finishes by saying, should I go outside and enjoy the sunshine instead of asking these stupid questions? No.
Nope.
Joshua Hardwick, the latest release of consoles has been the first time that I haven't purchased either since the Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, having instead pursued PC gaming. Do you feel there is an experience to be had on console gaming that isn't captured by the PC gaming market? Other than exclusives, I would say no.
No. I spend most of my time playing, PES on my PC. PES on my PC, no, it's ridiculous.
I think it's a very, very good point. Other than exclusive games that you cannot play on PC, e.g. Bloodborne, I don't actually think that PS4, Xbox One has anything over a PC.
No.
In fact, it probably has less.
Not
The
at
only other thing it has is the community.
Well, that's true.
So if I want to play GTA Heist, I know
point.
with my PS4 I can find a few people at least, whereas on PC, I've got to play with Andy Kelly. Do you know what I mean?
Which is a problem. Claire Talon. Right, we're going to have to work this out. How tall is each member of the team? I'm 6 feet. You're 6'3", Burns?
2, 3, 2.5 maybe.
Jim?
5'9".
5'9". So Scammell must be 5'10", and Brett must be 5'11". And the Oris
that's
must
the
be
hair.
around
Was
5'11"
Brett
as
taller
well.
than me?
I thought Brett was tall, is he not?
Brett's not taller than me, is he?
He's got the hair though,
It's
isn't
the
it?
hair. He's got that stupid spike. Listen to this, I get mad. But he's got that big hair.
Brett's like 2'6".
Okay, well, how would you 5'10"?
5'9".
I thought
5'9".
you were taller than that, Jim.
Or maybe Brett's
think
around
I'm
5'9", 5'10".
But then, as
I don't
I'm
know.
quite tall,
Yeah.
Burns is definitely the tallest person in the office. Hands
as I'm
down.
quite tall, I just don't really care about like people. Like
It's the Caledonian genes, mate.
all I'm saying is, it must be like being really rich, is that you just don't see other people's problems. You're like, well, some people are like, I'm really short. Nah, I'm really tall. Just never really thought about it. It's one of those things I just never thought about.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Bickmore says, the person sat on your left in the podcast room seems a little down today. What do you do to cheer them up?
Choose your own adventure.
There's nobody sat to the left of Miller because that's not how the room's configured.
Yeah, so I guess it would be Burns. What did you cheer Burns up? Just sit him down Resident Evil. Actually, no, fuck it. I say, Burns, we're watching WWE Network. Come round.
Yeah.
Cheer him
Say,
up.
Burns, your Battlefront piece is going up this lunchtime, and it's going to boil so much piss.
Actually, that is going to be good. Burns, how would you cheer Jim up? That's a weird question.
Well, Jim and I would have a big chat about David Starkey.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'd be like, right, let's go Rios.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
fair enough.
Let's go get some chicken. Yeah. Same answer for Miller. Let's go and get some chicken.
Damn right. The answer for all these questions is go get some chickens. No, we've kind of done that one. Sorry, you asked a question already. Karen Kapoor, any update on the live events? Yes, I'm going to be able to, we'll all be able to announce something very soon. The venue is almost there. It's penciled in. I have to confirm it, but we're hoping to be able to talk about it in the next 2 weeks. That's the plan.
Yep.
That's the plan. It's all getting sorted out at the moment. It hasn't been forgotten about. Half my time is videos, half my time is that live event stuff. So, watch this space, keep an eye on Patreon. But yes, I mean, in a dream world, it'll happen in about end of May, but that may be a bit ambitious. But soon, very, very soon. Trafalgar, from all the games you reviewed over the years, which game was the most enjoyable to review? That's an interesting question. Most enjoyable game to review. Because I guess he's got a point, because I gave GTA 5 a good score, but I hated reviewing it. It was a nightmare.
That was
Yeah.
bad though. Bad time pressure.
I'd hate to review a GTA game because I just what can you say about GTA that hasn't been said a billion
We
times?
said a lot of stuff. So much stuff that someone out there got mad and started tweeting about it. You've done too much on GTA.
How dare
Fuck
you
off.
cover the biggest game of all time?
Funnest game to review. I don't know.
It's the smaller ones.
I guess I like WarioWare
And it's
or
also the
something like that.
shittest ones.
Yeah. Oh, but that's true.
Yeah.
The bad ones are the best ones to review, and not because you necessarily want to give it a kicking, but because when you're reviewing a massive game, there's a lot to think about historical precedent or whatever, and things that you want to say about that game. Whereas a middling game, there's nothing to say about it, but a shitter game, it's just jokes. That's all we do is jokes. So the jokes are much easier to formulate.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It's because that Yoshi's game on 3DS, I can't remember the name
Oh,
of it
man,
now,
amazing.
was so boring.
So
I hated it.
good.
But when we came up with the idea just to post a picture of someone sleeping, it was really fun. So I guess it depends.
Rogue Warrior was a joy to play.
Well, exactly, yeah, because it's garbage.
Because it's so stupid. That's like Terminator Genesis. So excited. Going to be so bad.
Yeah.
Weirdly, talking about stuff that it's difficult to say anything about it because, but you think that would apply to a Worms game, but because it's Worms and that's all you need to say about a Worms game, you like last time like when I reviewed one, we got to have a bit of fun with it and just started writing some alt universe fiction.
Yeah,
that was good.
That
Jim.
was really good.
So
Wasn't that me though, Jim?
No, that
I'm
was
sure,
me.
I'm fairly,
That was
fairly
me.
sure that
That's
when
so
I
good.
that was me.
when that went live.
Review. Fantastic. Peter Keeg, if you had your own bar, what would it be called and what would the theme be? Wrestling bar, wrestling. Done. Next. I wouldn't even give it like a catchy name, just a wrestling bar.
It'd be a wrestling bar, obviously, and there'd be a ring, so you can sort all your differences out.
So there was a time when Vince McMahon's plan was to have a WWF, because at the time it was that, a theme park and a WWF hotel that would have theme rooms. And because the restaurant died, they never did it. Do you know how fucking pumped I'd be to go to the WWF hotel and stay in like the Stone Cold Stunning room or something? I don't know.
Still called Steve Austin.
Can you, how good it'd be?
But
Can you
after a
imagine?
while-
It's just all the furniture's just steel chairs.
Yeah, and then
shit.
when you open the door, his music plays. Oh, it would be the best.
But after a while, every time you need to go to the bathroom, you just got hit with a steel chair by an animatronic Steve Austin.
You're like,
Probably like, fuck me.
in the middle of the night, you forget.
It's not fun after the third time. Yeah.
Jim, what bar would you have?
What bar would I have?
Wrestling bar. Right?
There was wrestling. Bar. There was there's a pub in Edinburgh called the Tron, and I was always really upset that it never had it wasn't themed around Tron.
That'd actually be quite good. I'd
So
go to a Tron bar.
it was just named after the Tron Church, which is nearby. But,
Screwed.
but fucking Bruce Boxleitner has been there. So the guy who played Tron in Tron.
Maybe he went for the same reasons. He's like,
What was
fuck
the name
yeah,
of the
what's
bad
that
guy?
going?
in
Maybe
Tron?
this is themed after me, and it wasn't. So
I can't remember.
Fucked it.
Harry Stevenson. Oh, here we go. Miller, what is your 1 rep max on bench press, overhead press, squat, and deadlift? All time. This is embarrassing for me because my squat is nowhere near as good as it should be. First world problems. My best ever bench press was 180. My best overhead press was 145. My best deadlift was 275. My best squat was 180, which is poor. I should be able to squat more than I can bench, but such is life. So there you go. Everyone's just looking at me now. Chris Prescott, what is the one... That's kilograms, by the way, in case you're interested. Chris Prescott, what is the one game that you found to be rubbish while everyone else seemed to love? Like mine is L.A. Noire. He's got loads here. We'll just do that one for him. Rubbish while everyone seemed to... I loved L.A. Noire. It was awesome.
I quite liked Eleanor. It was a very flawed game. But
I found to be what everyone else seemed to love. Well, Dark Souls, I guess. Assassin's Creed. People seem to like that.
I've got loads. I mean, that's all I do. Is just disagree fundamentally.
Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive.
Everyone loved
Overdrive.
that.
No, I didn't
Everyone
get it.
loved that.
That
It's
wasn't my
a
thing.
piece of shit. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. No.
Okay, what are your thoughts on Battlefront 3? Battlefront 3?
Well, the cancelled LucasArts project.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
No opinions on it whatsoever.
That was a shame.
Yeah.
That was a shame.
Any more ridiculous childhood stories? Oh my gosh, so many. I don't know why the first one that pops to the head is the time I spiked myself on a fence. I kicked a ball into a box. We used to play football in a park, and there was a bowls lawn sort of just over the way, and someone kicked it, and obviously it had those green fence spikes. These aren't real spikes.
Yeah.
And I went to climb over the fence, fell, and impaled myself.
Oh,
And I laid there for about 10 minutes, or probably more, while an ambulance came and just popped me off. Still got a scar.
Fucking hell.
Don't know why that came to mind. It's the first story that came to mind. Anyone got any childhood stories they'd like to tell? You don't have to.
Just
Being dicks, innit?
yeah, just riding around.
I can't remember my childhood.
Do you feel the Patreon has been a success? Yes. Even if we got $5, it would have been a success.
Because that's $5 extra.
Exactly.
Come on,
Can
people,
we get
think
more
about these
live
things.
podcasts? Yes, you have one next week. Oh,
Really?
he's got
Oh,
one
fuck.
more. Can you recommend any funny podcasts to listen to that are not related to wrestling? Sorry, Miller. I only listen to wrestling podcasts, so I can't help you out. Funny podcasts.
I don't listen to podcasts.
I don't really listen to any
Sorry,
podcasts. I'm sorry.
Tom Blake, is there any dates set for the live events and community nights yet? Live events, chat about community nights, yes, we'll talk about that probably next week as well. Also, Steve, if you eventually succeed in your plan for world domination, what would you do in your first day in power?
Oh man, so much. It'd be unilateral action, every which way but loose. Firstly, no more calling stuff one. There'll be
Of course, yeah, that
There'll be
would
an
go, yeah.
algorithm on the internet. If you call it Metal Gear Solid 1, that's it. Bye. Even Kojima.
You're out.
Bye.
You're dead.
One of the main rules that I'd institute is that you're not allowed to speak on your phone on a bus or any sort of public transport before the hours of 10 o'clock. You're definitely not allowed to speak in the cinema, nor rustle anything.
No food in cinema. Ban it.
Nor even fucking walk in even a minute after the trailers start. Trailers are the best part of any movie
Damn right.
experience.
Damn right.
They got loads of really petty rules.
Man, time to vote for Burns.
Yeah,
Vote Burns.
exactly. And Scott Steiner is in charge of all national defence.
Scott
Scott Steiner is the new DEA chairman.
Remind me to show you an amazing Scott Steiner promo when we leave it. I don't think we want to do this, but you can if you want. I mean, Jim's done this loads already. Jason Liskey, American listener here. I'd like to hear everybody's best American accent. Jim wins. Just listen to the wrestling video.
Yeah.
But also, what is the coolest Easter egg you know of in a video game? I never really look at Easter eggs. That's why there's a pause. I was like, fuck, I can't think of anything.
The only one I can think of is Indiana Jones in Morrowind.
That is, I never saw that, but that's good. That's nice.
That's quite
I like
cool
that. I don't look for
GTA 3's got a couple of cool ones there, and
the "You're not supposed to be here" sign. Or,
and then in GTA Liberty City Stories it says you're still not supposed to be here.
That's good.
That's quite good.
Small things. Yeah.
Well, there's loads of Easter eggs in GTA 5. Surely there must be
I
millions
just try and look
of
for them.
them.
That's the thing. I don't look them up online either. That's the thing. They don't bother me. There are lots of good ones, I'm sure.
Metal Gear's got absolutely loads as well.
You know, in one of the, I don't know if it counts as an Easter egg. I don't know if it's part of the plot or what. But in one of the Frogware Sherlock Holmes games, you know, the terrible ones before the Jack the Ripper one.
Yeah.
He was Sherlock Holmes is on a train in Europe, and he has a little adventure with a young Poirot.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
There you go. Or Poirot, as Mel B once
Poirot.
said.
got to
Next
find
on
it.
ITV2,
Got to find it.
Poirot.
I mean, it doesn't. The timelines don't match up at all. But you know,
Okay.
there we go.
No, it doesn't have
Manus Noble. Hi guys, this is long. I really don't want. That's fine, by the way. I really don't want to fan the flame of console wars at all. Doesn't interest me in the slightest. But do you think people take into account the importance of feel and accuracy of controller when choosing a game? I have both PS4 and Xbox One and love them both, but choose to play all my cross-platform games on Xbox purely because of the controller. Wondered what your thoughts are. As for me, it's a really part of the whole experience. Keep up the great work.
I can't stand the Xbox One controller. I think it's
Yeah.
fucking shite.
How the fuck they didn't just remake the Xbox 360 one and paint it black, I do not know. But you always have to fiddle. It's a problem with live. You always got to fiddle. You can't just leave things be. I don't. To me, no, not for me personally. To me, I buy a console based on what games it's got and what my mates have got in case I want to play games with them.
I mean,
That is
loads of
literally
people bought the N64.
I love
Just
the
think about it
N64.
like that.
It's one of my favourite
With that
consoles ever.
controller.
And that weird boomerang, whatever the flip that was, where you held it in the
Trident
middle.
controller.
I mean, what is that? But it worked at the time, so...
You know, like significant numbers of people consider that the greatest controller of all
Yeah.
time because they're fucking mental.
Yeah.
I know, but no, I don't think to me it doesn't make a difference. I mean, but even like you say, I played PS3 games after 20, 30 minutes, say of Uncharted 2 or whatever. I just get used to it. It's bad,
It
but I
used
just
to
adapt.
make a bigger difference to me now, to me then than it does now.
Yeah.
That PS3 controller was an abomination. And
It was an abomination.
when I was our old place, Miller, when I was moved on to Play magazine from an Xbox mag, I was dreading it because I hated the PlayStation 3. I hate everything about it,
Yeah.
but particularly that controller.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
The dead zones on the sticks, like how you shoot
yeah.
someone with that. It's either on or it's off.
It's terrible. The DualShock 3. I mean, the most sort of the most terrible indictment against it is the fact that every shooter on PS3 uses the bumpers as triggers instead of the
Yeah.
actual
Oh,
triggers.
no, what was that? But it's triggers. Ugh. A lot of questions about controllers. Has something happened that I've missed? Or is it just a general thing, I guess? I don't know.
But the Xbox One controller, I don't know if anyone else finds this, but the analog sticks, there's not enough travel for me between the center and the edge. It's just
Is there
like,
not?
it's a bit too
I
constrained
never
for me.
noticed that.
Just fucking make the other one, you dicks.
I know.
But make the
Morons.
all you need to do is fix that D-pad, which they did in one of the later revisions, and fix these to be more like triggers, the bumpers. There you go. You've done it. You've done it.
I don't get it. Iteration for the sake of iteration. Dewey, well, my last question was deemed too sexy. For the record, that was a joke. You can ask as sexy a question as you want. So this time I've gone something with a bit more tame. What was the first video game you ever played and how old were you? Did that game get you into video games? Mine was Frogger on the VIC-20, showing my age. First game I ever played was Kung Fu on the NES. I must have been 6, if not a bit younger, maybe 4, 5.
Really?
That's the first game I remember playing. You had to fight. You have to fight and defeat Mr. X and save Sylvia.
It's always Mr. X, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
It's always
pretty
been
good,
Kung Fu. Was there a Game Boy version of that?
Maybe, yeah.
Side
I think it
scroller.
was called something else as well in
Yeah.
Japan or something. I don't remember. It was a side scroller though. Yeah.
The first game I ever remember playing was a Bruce Lee fighting game
Oh,
on
man.
Commodore 64.
It's like kung fu, karate related
Yeah,
stuff.
because
Interesting.
just easier to render in the day. That's what I remember.
First game I remember playing was
Morrowind?
on... it wasn't Morrowind.
That's all I remember is
Can you imagine
Morrowind.
it? 2003, nothing happened before then. No one was alive then. On the Amstrad CPC 464, that was our family computer, and there was a game, I think it was a platformer called Sorcery.
All right.
You played a little wizard, and you went around sort of zapping stuff with a
Classic.
wand
All right,
to
well-
collect shit.
While we're fucking talking about games now, one of the earliest games that I remember playing, but I never remember the name of it. It was an RPG of some description. I think it was on the Master System, and you walked around. All I can remember is walking around in a cave, and there was like a spotlight, and there were these blob things attacking me. Now I haven't got a fucking clue what it was, and it's been driving me mad for a little while now. So if anyone knows what that game was,
They'll know. Do you remember that time I asked in the main podcast about that weird school game?
Oh, yeah.
Within seconds of it happening, they'll know. You'll be fine. You will get this answer. I guarantee it.
right, there we go.
Did that get us into video games? I guess it must have done. There must have been something there to keep you interested, to keep you hooked. Yeah, I guess so. James Owens. Hey guys, what would your dream game to come out within the Star Wars universe be? Also, can Miller Instinct come back? Because that would be awesome. Well, this is basically Miller Instinct, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows? We'll see. Just make KOTOR 3, but make it proper. I like the Star Wars RPG stuff is always what I've enjoyed
I
most.
never got into it.
I can understand why not. Because I like Star Wars, but I'm not like super massive Star Wars fan. But the reason, I just think it's a universe with depth, basically, if you want to approach it that way. And that's why the first KOTOR is one of my favourite games ever. Because
The only good Star Wars prequels are the KOTOR games, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think
Brilliant.
Battlefront is the kind of dream Star Wars game for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Big open world battles. But yeah, KOTOR was mine, and it always will be.
I would like a KOTOR style game that tied into the sort of the current trilogy that's being made, like maybe something that was set during sort of present day Star Wars universe as opposed to 3,000 years before.
Knights of the Old Republic Online has ruined KOTOR. That's the end of that. They've lost so much money. This is the best question. I've decided I'm going to pick a best question of the month. This is my favourite question. Tim Jones to Burns. What does EGOT Spengler mean? It's just the best question.
Well, you know when people started giving themselves really stupid Twitter names?
EGOT.
You know, like weird Twitter. You know, weird Twitter started to get bigger. You know, drill. I love drill. It's great. I just thought, well, I can't actually remember the genesis of it, but what it means is, so Spengler, this is so Nathan Barley, trash, as in what's around us, and bat. But so, yeah, I don't know. I was just fucking around. I think someone was talking. Oh, it was when people were talking about the Ghostbusters. All-female Ghostbusters. So Egon Spengler is the name of the character. And at that point, I think I was
So
stomping
good.
around the office saying that I was going to win the EGOT, which is an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. So EGOT sounds fairly similar to Egon, and essentially just two weird things that I was saying in the office came together.
That's weird. You're always stomping around the office saying you're going to win an award.
Well, I have done, and I'll win more. But yeah, right. I've been trying to. I was going to change it to Johnny Concrete or Charlie Big Potatoes, but
EGOT Spengler.
yeah. And one of my tweets got on BuzzFeed, and it just said EGOT Spengler, and then there's a picture of Christopher Walker.
What was the tweet? I don't remember that. I think you told me at the time. I can't remember which one it was.
It was when they did the debates, and Johnny Tudor, that 17-year-old kid, who was like proper, looked Tory as fuck, was like a tie and a little navy blue suit.
Like, I'm a 17-year-old student of politics.
Yeah, and I said, "Oh, I recognise that kid. He's the kid from RoboCop 2."
Amazing.
It's,
Amazing.
just potentially quite sly.
Dave is not here, but we'll go with this question in case someone does know. Ben Barrett says, assuming Dame's about or someone else in the know, what happened to Shadow Realms? Did they realise it was a terminally shit idea for BioWare to make an online-only game? Again. Also, what games give you horrendous PTSD-style flashbacks whenever you remember them? And why are they all Elder Scrolls Online, lol? There was no lol, I added that lol in. I don't know anything about Shadow Realms. No idea what happened to that game. I know nothing. I can't help.
Don't know. Don't care.
No, does it? You get bad flashbacks on any games?
No.
And you look back and go, fuck. I don't really. I kind of forget about bad games
I
and
don't
move
know.
on.
Sometimes I'm glad I'm not playing Bound by Flame, but
That's true.
yeah, and sometimes you think, I'm glad I'm not reviewing this game anymore.
Oh god, yeah. Well, like Assassin's Creed Unity, after like reviewing that, putting like 50 hours into the Xbox One version, putting a further 20 into the PS4 version, and then going back and then having to do Rogue on the fucking PS3, and then after that doing the DLC a couple of months later, I mean, as much as I love Assassin's Creed, I'm the only one in the office that does. I never want to fucking touch one again. That's why Tom's reviewing Chronicles, because I never want to touch an Assassin's Creed game ever again.
I did
It's
presume
burnt
it was
me
just
out.
you.
Fuck Assassin's Creed.
I was off and I just presumed that you'd written it. So I didn't read
Did you? All right, no, it was
That's
Tom.
why I didn't read it.
What did he give it? I didn't look. I didn't see the review.
Yeah, 6, I think.
Classic. Alexander Holt, what made Burns decide to leave Blue's Clues? Creative differences with Blue. I've heard that Blue was a belligerent drunk behind the scenes. Any comment?
He's taking that too far.
Yeah, I can't talk about anything.
Too far. Darren Russell, have any of you ever played a weird Japanese visual novel and then felt ashamed after? I'm showing, what the fuck is a Japanese visual novel?
Oh, you know the ones, Miller.
You mean what? That is what I think it is. I don't even know what it is, so I don't know. No. Just because I know. Have you done that?
I've never played a Japanese
Yeah.
visual novel. No, no.
It sounds like Guy Woodward sort of thing, doesn't it?
It is. That's definitely Guy Woodward. Yeah.
Mr. Waffle, can a Patreon goal... Oh, I've got to start reading these. Can a Patreon goal be Simon cosplaying Kratos? He keeps teasing us with those guns. Surely it's time to break them out. Definitely not.
No, they're purely
Actually,
ornamental.
Yeah, I'll bust out some Kratos thing if we tie into a video. That's fine. Anything for the service of entertainment.
I've
Thank
seen
you,
them.
Mr. Waffle.
It's
I
pretty
appreciate it.
impressive.
Yeah. We're at that last one. Can you believe it?
Shit,
Last
hell.
question. It's Daniel Broadby.
Good lord.
Do you think the video game industry could ever crash again? If so, is there a game, dev studio, or genre you think would most likely I can't say the word. That word, it. Precipitate. There you go. Try and roll that off your tongue.
Nah, it's too big to fail now.
It's like Lehman Brothers. But Lehman Brothers did fail. Badly. They fucked everything.
Especially when you look at the likes of Call of Duty. Everyone shits over it, but it sells. It hasn't. Everyone said, oh, this is the year. Ghost was the year. Remember? This is the year for the drop-off. And then Advanced Warfare came out and did really well. And Black Ops seems to have quite a strong following, so I imagine that will be doing really well. And then where'd you get... Then you probably get a new Call of Duty because Ghost didn't do well, and that'll probably do really well. Call of Duty may be that game. There may be no drop-off. I don't know. I can't see it.
I think the game industry, it's just, it's past the point of no return now. I think it's too big, too fractured, too ubiquitous to ever actually properly crash or fail or whatever.
But when you think about the original Crash,
Yeah.
when you think about the reasons for that and the machines that were on the market and the games that were flooding the market, and people going, oh well, fuck this, is that it's there's a quality issue to be had there, and there's also economics in play. Mm-hmm. Whereas now, games aren't just things that come in fucking manufactured cartridges where you have to lay 10 million in and then hope that you sell 10 million.
Yeah.
A lot of it, there's the opportunity for anything to crash.
But it will survive. It will persist regardless, I imagine. I think video games are here to stay now. What we really need, and this sounds very morbid, and I mean it in a purely theoretical manner, but you need the current generation that are, in quote, power to die off, so that the new people that take their place are familiar with video games, and then all the nonsense will die as well. Well, some of the nonsense will die.
Oh, you're talking about the baby boomers?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Sony.
Or the
Sorry.
baby.
Sony to die off.
The baby boomers are responsible for pretty much 95% of the world's problems.
Yeah.
Oh, the baby boomers need to go. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, once that's done and people just, video games is just a thing.
It
It's
needs
not
to
this
be illegal
awful...
for them to vote as well. Like they keep
How the
fucking
fuck
things
is
up.
Norman Tebbit still alive?
I know.
You look at him now and it's like, no, I'm not going to say anything more. Norman Tebbit's a powerful man.
That's it. We've come to the end of the Q&A. Video Gamer Patreon, whatever it's called, podcast.
You tell us.
Exactly, I don't know. And as always, joking aside, you can ask us anything. If I start reading it and think, whoa, that's too bad, but just ask us anything you want. Like I say, we'll do one a month. So what, we're mid-April now? Late April. Whatever. So we'll do another one in late
April.
May. So look
pay
for
my
a
credit
shout
card
out
bill.
on the Patreon page around mid-May, and we'll do
Mid-May.
another one of these. Ask us whatever you want. We will do our best to answer it. It doesn't have to be about video games either. If you want to ask Burns about destroying the world, if you want to ask Jim about, I don't know, kicking Morrowind's ass, if you want to ask me about bodybuilding, you can. We'll answer it as best as we can. But as always, thank you very much for downloading us. More importantly, thank you very much for being a Video Gamer Community Club member. We really appreciate it. Sound like I was joking around. I wasn't. I was being deadly serious.
No, that's
So
fine.
there you go. Steve Burns, thanks for joining me.
Cheers.
Jim Trinker, thanks for joining me.
All right.
We'll be back soon. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.